Have you ever gotten to the end of the day and wondered, what did I even do today? Or maybe you started the day with good intentions, but the day still got away from you. Was it really because life be lifing, life happened? Or was it because there was nothing important decided in advance? See, a lot of days don't fall apart because of one big problem. They fall apart because there was no default structure decided in the first place. Listen, you do not manage the day well when you're building it in real time.
Welcome to Success Spectrum Podcast, where new entrepreneurs break free from limiting beliefs, build unshakable financial confidence, and step boldly into the life and business they were meant to create.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Success Spectrum Podcast, sponsored by Apex Affiliation. I'm your host, Kadeem McLean. In March, we talked all about execution and momentum. April, we're talking about, that's right, systems, structure, and leverage. Because execution without structure, that just creates burnout. You're going to see fumes coming out and you're not going to be able to operate at 100%. But your car needs a tune-up because you've been doing everything on your own. That's where systems come in. That's where structure comes in. And that's where leverage comes in. Because effort without a system, that keeps you reactive. So let me start off with a question. Are you leading your day, or is your day leading you? So for the first episode in April, we're talking about the foundation, the default day. Now, if your day keeps getting hijacked, I want to tell you something. This episode is going to tell you and show you exactly why that is. We've got a villain out there, and the villain is the reactive day. He's been running amok. He's been interrupting people's projects. He's been interrupting people's businesses and plans and goals that they have. What is this reactive day thing? It's when you wake up and you start reacting to everything in your environment. You look at your phone, you see notifications, you see pings, you see missed calls, you see missed messages, and little tasks start to creep in. People start asking you for things. People start requesting things from you and requesting your time. And you spend the whole day responding to these messages, responding to these missed notifications, to these people's requests, family members, friends, cousins, neighbors, co-workers, and you spend your whole day responding to them, and everything that was important to you gets pushed until later. By the end of the day, you were so busy that your real priority did not get completed. No movement was made. Your priority is sitting exactly where it was at the top of the day. I want you to think about it. How many times has this happened to you this week, this month, this year? I can tell you it's happened to me a few times. But there is a way to break out of it. Another question I want to ask you is, how often do you say you were busy all day, but the real work still didn't move? It still didn't get done. How often does that happen? If you're being honest with yourself, you can answer this question honestly. Did you lead the day, or did the day lead you? And if it's the latter, we've got to fix that. We've got to flip it. Because if your day has no default, your distractions become your schedule. I couldn't tell you how many times I got pulled aside from these distractions, from these things that were not uber important to me, and they took over the day. I'll sit down at my computer as an example, and I will aim to do a specific task, work on the business or work on something specific, complete a specific project. However, when I come across an issue on the computer, if I'm working on that thing and I come across something that's not working right, sometimes in my past, I would get distracted and get drawn to the side from that thing that's not working, and I will spend 30 minutes or hours, depending on how long it takes, to fix that thing. Regardless of how long it takes, that takes time away from me. That takes energy away from the project that I was supposed to be working on in the first place. And then, of course, the main task didn't get done, or did not get done as efficiently as it should have, because I spent energy and time on this other thing, which didn't matter at the time. I could have jotted down or taken a mental note and came back to it later, but I didn't. I got distracted by the little thing. People might say I was undisciplined, but that's where people get it confused. It wasn't a matter of discipline. The real issue was my structure. And your structure is oftentimes why your day keeps falling apart. Because every unplanned moment creates a decision. And when you have to make decisions, they take energy away from you. The more energy you have to put into these decisions equals more drift. Because that's less energy now that you can put into the project or task you were supposed to be working on. And by the time you're finally supposed to work on this important task, your mental energy is already spent. It's drained. So the day didn't fail because you were weak. The day failed because nothing important was protected in advance. Question for you: what happens when every part of your day is up for debate? Your time, your energy, it's all up for debate. Whether or not you complete your important task or not, your priority task, it's up for debate. Other people have a say. What happens in that case? You probably never get done what you set out to complete that day. Or said another way, what happens when your important task is pushed until the last part of the day, when all of your energy is already gone and you have very little to be able to output into this project or input into this project, depending on how you want to look at it. When you have no energy left or very little time left, and the effort you put into this thing is going to be so minimal that you may not complete it, or if you do, it's going to be subpar work. What happens in that case? Do you really reach your goals, or does it delay everything? You know the answer to that. This is one of my gripes with people saying they're busy. I personally aim to never say that I'm busy. It's just one of those words that's not really in my vocabulary, because my aim is to be productive, not busy, but productive. Because when you are busy, the day will feel full, but you'll still produce very little. And that is not my aim. My aim is to put time in, less time, and produce as much as possible. Sometimes there's tasks that go incomplete, if you will. Months go by, weeks go by, days go by, and there's tasks just sitting there that are incomplete. And I'll have the tasks, I'll know that I need to do them, but there's so many other things coming up with work and with business and with clients and so on, with family and friends calling me. And in the past, those things wouldn't get done on my list because I'm responding to everybody. My phone's in front of me. It's not on do not disturb. And I see it when people are calling or messaging me constantly, and I'll pick up, I'll answer because maybe they need something from me, right? My day it's not improvised, or rather it is improvised. I'm not structured. I'm not scheduled. I don't keep myself to a regimen. And those days, that task list, again, days, weeks, months go by, and it's still sitting there. But then when I finally plan and I say, you know what, I'm setting aside this hour or this 2 hours to complete this thing. First of all, it often takes a lot less time than I thought it would, and a lot less energy than I thought it would to complete the list. However, when I set aside that time to get it done, I complete it and I feel so much better. I don't let the distractions come in. I say, okay, 10 a.m., I'm going to go ahead and tackle this list. I get it done. It's off my plate. I feel a weight lifted off of me, my shoulders, and I feel a bit of mental clarity. That's because I put together that pre-structured day, that pre-structured block, that moment for me to complete that list. I didn't put in a whole lot more effort. I didn't put in more discipline or anything along those. I just simply structured it, because that's the answer, really. Not trying to put in harder work or a harder morning or more energy in the morning, but it's simply deciding key parts of the day before the day even begins. And that's really the hero to our villain. The villain is the reactive day, because when you react to it again, you'll spend the whole day reacting. And by the time you're ready and you have very little time left in the day, you try to work on that important task and it's not going to get done. You don't have the mental capacity to even start it, to sit down, to open the notebook, to open the tab on the computer, to start your work. But the hero, the default day, let's talk about that, because what does a default day look like? A default day is not a rigid schedule. I want to put that out there, because a lot of people don't like schedules. They don't like regimens. They don't like routines. I understand. That's not what this is. It's simply a pre-decided structure. It tells you the important parts of your day. Where does the important work live? It reduces your decision fatigue because it saves you energy. You get to make less decisions because you already made them the day prior. It's structured. You know what you need to do. It's like having a goal, and every decision that comes your way, you know what the answer is, because if it's in alignment with this goal, great, let's do it. If it's not, forget it. We're not doing it. That's where the default day comes in. It makes progress easier because the basics are already assigned. You know, minimal, this is what I got to do to move the needle today, each day. And we're going to get that done. And everything else is going to fall on the outside of that. And we can do those things once we complete our important tasks. So what does this look like, the default day? We have a few blocks. We have 3 blocks, really 4 blocks. The first block, as an example, will be your priority tasks. What needs to get done? What is the important thing and the urgent thing that needs to get done today and or tomorrow? That is your priority block. Listen, I'm not saying priorities block. I'm saying priority block, because typically there's only one priority. There shouldn't be multiple priorities. It's one thing. What do I need to get done today to move the needle for my important tasks so my business can move forward, so my life can move forward, my relationship can get better, whatever it is you're aiming to do. The second block is communication and admin work. This should never be the first block. It's just admin work, communication stuff. This can get delayed a little bit, and that's why it's the second block. The third block is business growth tasks. And you can, of course, restructure these how you want to, but this is just a simple framework. Business growth tasks, right? Whatever it is you got to do, knock on doors, make phone calls, send emails. That's where this comes into play. And the last one is the catch-all space, where everything else, the improvised things, the people coming to you with requests and for your time and so on, that's what goes in here, right? So this is where it's the overflow. This is where the life be lifing part happens. This is the randomness, the things that happen that you did not plan for. That's where it goes into the catch-all space. I want to make sure, again, this is clear. I got to emphasize. The whole point of this is not to plan and schedule every hour of your day or every minute of your day. That's not the point of this. This is simply to decide the non-negotiables. What does Kadeem need to do in a day to move the needle in these specific areas? That's what we're talking about. And a lot of you might look at other people and say, oh my gosh, they're so motivated. They're making progress. They're doing this. They're accomplishing that goal. And oh my gosh, look at them. They're doing great things. But what if it's not about your day having more motivation? It's just about you needing a default. And that's where this hero, the default day, comes in, because here's what you can do. Before tomorrow, define your first protected work block. Your first work block, just your whatever you were aiming to do, right? We talked about it being a priority task. Before tomorrow, schedule that in, make a note of it, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., whatever, depending on when you are most productive. Some people are more productive in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. It depends on you and your flow. So schedule that in, block it, and make sure you know what you're going to be working on, what that priority is during that hour, during that 45 minutes, 30 minutes, if that's all you have. The reason for this is because structure creates freedom when it protects the most important task, when it protects what really matters. And I promise you, I'm speaking from experience, because before I really decided to make my morning routine what it is, I felt off. I felt energy was low, mental clarity was lacking. But as soon as I decided, okay, in the morning, I'm doing this, that, and the third, I'm going to the gym, I'm praying, I'm doing the whole 9 yards. Once I decided and I started to do that, the level of energy that I have in the day, the rest of the day is a breeze once I hit my morning routine. And I have some things in the evening that I do as well, but the rest of the day is a breeze when I hit my morning routine. I'm energized. I have mental clarity. I can make decisions more clearly. I have a level of energy and vigor that I do not have when I don't follow my default morning, when I don't follow that routine that I set for myself. My day just, it goes awry, if that's the right word. So for me, it literally changes the whole day, having that default morning structured, scheduled, and following it. It's not literally on my schedule, but I know what I have to do. And I say that because I know once you decide to follow this default day thing or try it out, it'll make a difference for you. Now, in a second, I'll show you how this works in real life. But before that, here's a quick self-mastery result so you can see what clarity looks like in real life.
Apex Coaching with Kadeem has helped me drastically in my coaching business. As a new entrepreneur who's juggling masters, a family of 4, and also getting new clientele when it comes to real estate, he's really helped me streamline and understand the clarity and also the need for financial stability and stewardship in order to grow. This growth has allowed me to enhance and help my family out in multiple ways. It helped my family out before we was even making any more money. So if he can help me with what I have without growing it, and then later I see it growing, that's a sign of a winner right there. So I implore you to join. I implore you to take the resources. I implore you to get the book. I implore you to employ Apex.
All right, now let's make this practical, because the default day only works if it's simple enough for you to repeat. So what does a default day really need? It needs one protected, meaningful work block. I said meaningful. One protected, meaningful work block. It needs one for communication and admin work. Again, if that's part of what you need to do. It's this video is coming out during tax season. So if you haven't filed your taxes yet, that's where the communication and admin block goes. That's what that's for. One built-in buffer for life and unpredictability, because again, we need to put time aside for the unpredictability of life. That's why people say life be lifing, because things happen. They don't have a structure for it. They don't have a plan for it. They don't have a block of time that they focus on those things. They just do it whenever it pops up. And if that's how we do it, that villain's attacking us. That reactive day is eating away at our time and our productivity and our whole day, to the point where, again, we get nothing done. The fourth thing it needs is one clear line for what gets done first. What is the priority? Not priorities. What is the priority? That is your default day. Here's what it does not need. It does not need a perfect hourly calendar or a perfect minute by minute calendar scheduled out to say, okay, this minute I'm doing that, or this hour I'm doing this. It doesn't need that. It doesn't need unrealistic expectations. It doesn't need 10 priorities, as I've been saying, a plan that only works on ideal days. It's not going to work. If these things are in your plan or your default day, it's not going to work. Again, it needs to be simple enough that we can do it and repeat it daily, however many times a week you plan to do it, 2, 4, 5. And once we do that, then our default day can actually work in our benefit. So do you really need a perfect calendar, or do you need to stop letting everything feel equally as important? There's something called the Eisenhower matrix, and I've seen this years ago. It says if a task is not important and it is not urgent, delete it. That's going to hurt some people. Delete it. You don't need to do it because it's not urgent and it's not important. Take it off your to-do list. There's no need for it to be on there. It's just eating up space on that paper, on your to-do list, and in your mind, because you're still thinking about doing the thing. Delete it. Forget it. If it is not urgent, but it's important, then we step into another category. You can delegate that stuff. It doesn't need your special skills. It doesn't need you specifically to do it. Delegate it. Pass it off to somebody else to do. It's important, but it's not urgent. Somebody else can take care of that for you. If it's urgent, but it's not important, delegate it. Pass it off to somebody else to do. It doesn't need your specific skill set. It doesn't need you specifically to do it. It's an important task, so it's got to get done. Or rather, it's not an important task, so it doesn't need you to do it specifically, but it is urgent. So pass it off to somebody else to take care of that for you. If it's not urgent, but it's important, that's where you schedule it. You don't need to do it today, maybe not even this week, but put it on the schedule for the following week or the following month, depending, because it is important, but you haven't reached the deadline yet, or it's not urgent to be done yet. The things that we need to do and prioritize are those that are urgent and those that are important. That is where we need to put that on the list for today or tomorrow. That is the Eisenhower matrix. So this will help you to prioritize in terms of what needs to get done, what can be delayed, what can be deleted, or what can be delegated. And the reason this matrix is important, because again, not everything is equally urgent or equally important. And if you operate as if it is, I'm surprised you're not already burnt out, or maybe you are, you don't realize it. Here's a couple examples for you. As an entrepreneur with a 9 to 5, you can protect one evening block for work to build your business. What would it look like if 3 times a week to 5 times a week, you have that one block in the evening after work to build and work on your business? What would it look like 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road, if you stuck to that default plan, that default day of one block in the evening working on your business? Here's one thing I can guarantee you. You'd be giving your business a lot more time and effort than a lot of these entrepreneurs, because you have that one block in the evening every day or 3 to 5 times a week that you are working on your business. You will be productive. And over time, of course, you might need to add some more time in there. I'm not saying an hour per se, whatever that block looks like for you, but over time, you will see the fruits of your labor. As a content creator, maybe that first block is for creation, and then the second block is for posting and admin stuff. Again, what would your content creation, your page, your platform look like if you stuck to that schedule, that default day, every day, 3 to 5 times a week, let's say, for the next few years? The whole point to this is to tell you that a good day is not improvised. It's pre-decided. Going back to my example of the gym in my morning routine, when I hit my morning routine, I feel like I've wasted no motion, no energy. I feel like it's structured for me. So I feel like I haven't wasted any energy in terms of motion. It's not unnecessary motion. It's things that I should be doing, right? It's not like I have a wasted time block in there or a huge gap in my schedule. I feel productive. I feel energized. It's like, okay, good. I hit the first mark of the day, the first 5 marks really, of the day. And then in the evening, I hit that one. Great. I'm good. And it's honestly as if when I go to sleep at night, I can sleep so much better because I know I hit the mark for the day, as opposed to not having a target to hit and then attempting to go to sleep. I feel like I got nothing done. I feel like, should I really be sleeping? I didn't do anything today. There was no production. I was not productive at all today. Should I really be going to, do I deserve to go to sleep? Obviously I do, but that's kind of the thought that comes to mind. I didn't do what I needed to do today and I have energy still because I didn't do it. So should I really be going to sleep or should I stay up and do something productive? But when I hit the mark, of course, I feel energized throughout the day, but I feel as if I can go to sleep peacefully, knowing that I hit my mark for the day. And for those of you who are stressed out there, once you have this default day and you follow it, I don't want to give any guarantees or promises, but it will very likely reduce that level of stress for you.
What if shopping could earn you cash instead of just costing you? You've been stuck in the cycle, tap, swipe, spend, watching your paycheck just disappear. But one day, after you stumbled onto this app called Rakuten, you ask yourself, why am I paying full price when I don't have to? But then you think, maybe it's just another gimmick. Then one of your friends tell you about this app called Rakuten, who makes them money and gives them cash back and rewards for thousands of stores every time they make a purchase that they were made anyway. You try it once, you discover hidden deals, compare prices, and you start winning. Shopping becomes a strategy. Every tap pays you back, and you still get what you want. You share Rakuten with your friends, watch your income grow, and become more financially confident. Download the Rakuten app today and keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket.
So if you want to test this out, do this for a week, 7 days. Here's the 4 things I want you to do. Choose your first protected block. What does it look like? What are you working on? If it's, again, content creation, if it's some type of entrepreneurship, sales, business, whatever, what is that one protected block that you're doing? Is it physical fitness, spiritual fitness, whatever you want to focus on and work on? 2, decide what the block is for, right? So 1 is schedule it. When am I going to do this thing? 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, 6 days a week, 7 days. 2, what is that block for? As I talked about, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, whatever it might be. 3, put communication admin for later, not the first block. This should almost never be the first block. Communication and admin stuff can get done later on. 4, keep 1 buffer block for overflow. The quote unquote distractions that come in, the requests from outside that are not in alignment with your important task or your important work or your priority, those need to have their own block. Because if they don't have their own block, it's going to creep into your important block, and then your important block's going to blow up and you don't have your schedule anymore. You're not sticking to it, right? And again, I said schedule, but it's not about specifically a schedule. Some of you might be best just remembering, I got to do these things for the day. Cool. And you kind of have a structure or order in which you do that, but you don't have specifically, okay, 10:29 a.m. I'm going to work on these things. It doesn't need to be like that if you don't need it like that. Some of you don't work well off of a schedule. I understand. Do whatever works best for you in this case. But for the next 7 days, stop building your day on the fly and run a default. This can be your default. So choose your 1 protected block, what it's going to be for the next week. All right. Here's what we're tracking. We are tracking, did you protect the block? Did the priority move before reaction took over, before the reactive work? And did the day feel calmer or more chaotic? If it's more chaotic, stop doing it. But if it's calmer, which I believe it will be, then there you go. Here's something you can utilize to overcome that reactive villain, that reactive day, and reduce your stress levels, increase your energy, and at the end of the day, increase your self-esteem, because when you set a target and you hit it, your self-esteem gets better. You kept a promise to yourself. I'm going to hit this mark. You hit that mark, and guess what? Your self-esteem, your confidence starts to go up and increase. Your priority currently is competing with a lot of things. But what would happen if a whole week went by and your priority was really the priority and it wasn't competing with all these other things? You do not need a perfect day. You need a repeatable one. And that's what the default day will help you with. So here are some things that I hope you got from the episode. The day does not fall apart at random. It falls apart when nothing important is protected. When you build the default, you stop negotiating with every single hour, and that's where the real leverage begins. Take a look at the last week, the last month, the last 6 months or 3 months, even the last year, and see what has really been costing you your progress. Is it a lack of effort, or is it a lack of structure? Next episode, we're going to look at what happens when everything in your business depends on you. And that honestly becomes the bottleneck. And hey, if your day keeps getting hijacked, the Self-Mastery Service is a 45-minute private clarity session where we help cut through the noise and give you one executable step that you can take and follow through on. So if you're looking for clarity and you're looking to take action, go to apexaffiliation.com/self-mastery or click that link in the description or in the bio, wherever it might be, depending on where you're listening to this. And one final takeaway for you is you do not rise to the level of your intention. You fall to the level of your default or your habits. And always remember, success is not a destination, it's a spectrum. So keep evolving. Kadeem here, and I'll see you on the next one.